Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Friends. My name is Cody Leach. As always, I'm joined by Christian Garcia.
Buenos. Oh, that was loud.
Buenos. Yeah, you're using the microphone I normally use. It's very good, very sensitive. Thank you, everybody, for coming back and listening. We do appreciate you coming week after week. Already had some reactions to our Matrix episode. A lot of people agreeing with us. Then our two friends, Ashley and Blake, disagreeing with us. So they're dead to us now.
I was staying very quiet during that text conversation.
I was getting so mad.
I was just more like, no, Blake is joking.
Nope, he's not. He's just what generation are we on now? Z?
I don't know.
He's whatever that is, who are just a bunch of uninformed young people. Back in my day, action movies were action movies.
I just thought it was interesting because normally I'm known as the guy who likes bad movies.
Yeah.
And but I like bad movies that know they're bad and they're just owning the badness of it. And this one was just it was I don't know if it was just a cash grab or just trying, but just like throwing spaghetti at a wall and see what sticks. I don't know.
I think it's just one of those things like Kevin Smith movies where I think we brought this up on the show where, his movies were awesome when his heart was broken and he was having a rough time. Same thing with, the Wachowskis, back when they were, hiding their true selves, they had so much angst build up that they sat at home and wrote awesome movies. Yeah. Now that, everyone's accepted them and everything and they're living their true selves, movies aren't so good.
Yeah. We just need to give them tragedy and pain. Just to get
it doesn't have to be much. Can we just chop off a finger or something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just kidding, of course.
Pinky toe.
But it's a bummer that the movie that, one of the movies that they did not do very well was The Matrix, because obviously it's so awesome. But, I think for the most part, they've still done more good stuff than bad stuff. The only real bad ones were the Jupiter Ascending, really. I like Cloud Atlas. I know a lot of people didn't like it.
It's funny how we're going to get into a similar topic, but I'm actually surprised that they didn't get as much in trouble for that movie as they probably would have today.
They really did. The whole casting white people as Asian people. Yeah. But
I guess they were just trying to be like Breakfast at Tiffany's. They're like, if Mickey Rourke can do it.
I don't even think it was. I think
Mickey Rooney, whatever the guy was.
Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rourke was still a young pup back then. I think with Cloud Atlas, the whole point of it was the idea that these people had the same soul, and because I read the book, and in the book it's hinted at that these are the same souls, kind of living through multiple lives together and finding each other and whatnot. So I think they were trying to do that in a clever way with having actors play the same roles, but then you have these Asian characters, and you're like, ooh, yeah. So it just wasn't handled well. But
if only there was a job where you can pretend to be someone else, but you're not really that person, and they could just do that, that would have been great.
What, like an actor?
Yes. Just hire some Asian people to pretend that they were the other people beforehand.
Well, I mean, then they would just do that so every other characters are the same actors,
I get it.
Then just the Asian ones weren't. I think it would be better if they just didn't make them Asian. If they just changed the book and they're
then
these are future people, and then they're like, oh, okay, cool.
Then they would have gotten in trouble like they did with Ghost in the Shell. It's just
there's just no hope.
There's just
no hope.
What they should have just done was
no one's ever happy.
Different actors. That's all they had to do to avoid the issue. You know what that tells
Well, then I get that too. They should have, if you're gonna have Asian people in your movie, they should be Asian, right? I get that. But their whole concept of the movie of having the same actors play multiple roles falls apart if they do that.
I get the reasoning or the thought process, but that just leads to tell me that they had no people of color to be like, this
doesn't feel right. The makeup artist just ooh.
Can you make my eyes more
squinty? Can you make them more squinty? It's I don't get paid enough for this shit.
It's these are Chinese eyes. I say Korean eyes. And it's I don't know the difference. I don't know.
Now you're making me feel bad.
Yeah. It's so bad. It was so bad.
It was really bad. But overall, aside from that, I actually enjoyed the movie.
I was watching it.
And that was a weird part, though. Even in the theaters, I'm like, ooh, this is This is interesting. This is a choice.
I'm not gonna lie. I laughed, but not because I think that kind of stuff is funny. I was like, this is so fucking cringy.
It's funny that
no
that
one,
it made it through all the
yeah, like
all
no
the
one
steps of making a
pointed
movie.
this out.
Yeah.
No one said anything.
That's true. It's definitely an artistic choice, as we say in the biz.
Should we get into it now since we're out talking about it? Should we just get into Jon Stewart?
Well, we can right after I say this. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing. Make sure you click the little bell icon down on the YouTubes, or if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, just follow us. We do appreciate it. We appreciate you listening. And if you want to become a patron of the show, help support us financially, which we do appreciate, check out patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. What did Jon Stewart say?
God,
Christian?
you really just made us sound like greedy, like Green Got Goblins just asking for money. You made us sound like we were these terrible, terrible money-grubbing creatures.
Everyone, for the record, Christian saying this.
This is a lead-in into what J.K. Rowling, I believe her name is pronounced.
Sounds like an ethnic slur. I wouldn't say that.
So, Jon
It's
Stewart,
not, but it sounds like it could be. You know what I mean? Check out those chicks over there. I don't like it one bit.
So Jon Stewart has said on his podcast, I believe it was his podcast. I don't think
Yeah,
he was
so
a guest on someone else's.
it's the podcast that like coincides with his new show, The Problem With, I think it's called.
Yes, The Problem With.
Which is an excellent show on available on Apple TV Plus or whatever it's called.
Yeah, listen after us.
Yeah.
Or listen to us, go listen, and listen one more time.
He's a lot smarter than we are, and he talks about different stuff, and it's really a downer most of the time, but it is very interesting, and he does have funny jokes.
So he had made the comparison that J.K. Rowling, he did not say that she was anti-Semitic, but he did point out that goblins,
I think he straight up said that she's anti-Semitic.
That the goblins in
Gringotts,
I always thought it was Gringotts. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
It's fake. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Not the point. That the goblins were
Greensteins.
Greenbergs,
Bank. Yeah. Greenberg's Bank. Why's it called Greenbergs? That's oddly specific.
She didn't want to make it too obvious, I guess.
Yeah.
That the goblins were basically Jews.
Yeah.
Is what Jon Stewart was
Well,
saying.
I'm pretty sure I've said that on this podcast before. And it's 100% true. I didn't know that they were actually, I didn't know about this book. Thank God I didn't know about this book.
The Elder Protocols of Zion, I believe.
Is that what it's called?
I may have it a little bit off, but
Sounds like it's on your bookshelf, Christian.
yeah, I just keep it. It's just my number
It
one.
is. Let me pull out my signed copy.
I did look up those images in that book, and I was like, ooh.
I didn't want to get put on a list. I didn't look it up.
I was like, that is kind of spot on and what they look like. Now, granted, in this book, they don't have skin tones.
Yeah.
But the features were pretty much the same. And not only that, but the suits they're wearing, the banker suits, like, ooh,
I mean,
pretty close.
So, like, the suits, like, I know I joked about this before we were recording, that, like, oh, they're wearing, like, three-piece old-timey suits, you know, like your stereotypical, like, old-timey Jewish banker. But, like, I mean, if you're a banker, if you're making a bank in a fictional world, they're probably going to be wearing nice clothes.
I do, if you can, just put up the image I sent you, because that one was pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, we'll put it up on the on the screen for the YouTubers.
But Jon
hope
Stewart,
that doesn't get us kicked off YouTube. Who knows?
we didn't fucking.
We'll
make
just
it.
put a thing under says Goblin. Yeah. So this book is a anti-Semitic like book textbook talking about like how Jews are greedy and basically monsters or whatever.
How they're taking over the world.
When did the book come out?
I believe 19 something or other.
Man, the fact that it's 19 and not earlier is concerning. But anyway, yeah, I definitely see his point for sure. I did make the argument though that maybe J.K. Rowling is an anti-Semite, maybe Chris Columbus is, but no one wants to agree with me on that.
Now,
one.
it really, really just depends on how much creative control she had. I actually went down, I was trying to look at Chris Columbus's pictures he's either directed or produced. I'm like, not really helping his case, kind of helping Cody's case, and not a lot of people of color in this film.
Because, yeah, definitely not a lot of people of color, but I mean, also, he was making a little kids movie, so I can't get too mad at the guy, I guess. But
name one black person in Home Alone. I'll wait.
Yeah, I can't think. I can't think of any.
I don't even think in the second one. And they were in New York. There's no black people in New York.
There had to have been someone in the New York one, but he's probably like a cabbie. He's like, "Hey, I'm walking here," something like that, you know. It's like, oh, there's the one guy to fill the quota. I think it does. I think it does depend on how much control J.K. Rowling had in it. Obviously, in light of some of the other things she's tweeted, where she sounds like she's fucking crazy. You know, I think that this kind of plays into that lane, you know, like I wouldn't put it past her now.
My thing is like, why didn't they just go green? Why,
right.
Why, like, you normally when you're depicting goblins, where they're like green, grayish green, maybe like even like grayish green, bluish kind of hues, muted colors.
And are goblins known for their money management skills? Like, so I think like a dwarf would be better.
That was a point that I was going to bring up. So let me see if I have it here.
I mean,
this is from the Harry Potter wiki page. Goblins converse in a language known as gobbledygook and are
That's pretty good.
and are
That's fucking stupid, but I love it.
And are adept metalsmiths, notable for their silver work. They even mint coins for the wizarding currency, reports the wiki page. Due to their skills with money and finances, the control of the wizarding economy a large extent, and run Gringotts Wizarding Bank. Now, to me, I agree with you. That definition sounds like more dwarven. But we all know dwarves are either Scottish or Irish.
That's true. Yeah. Who are notorious for being terrible with money.
Yes. So
they'd just be drunk the whole time.
No, they're obviously the Mexicans of Great Britain for sure. So
I guess, I'm looking at this. This is from Wikipedia. So this is just goblins in general, not specific to the Harry Potter world. They are almost always small and grotesque, mischievous, or outright malicious and greedy, especially for gold and jewelry. So I guess that does kind of fit. You know what I mean?
But even then, even if you're going to take that definition, the fact that they weren't green or some other unnatural, like, goblin color.
Also, their noses were gigantic. It was...
Now, if you look at the Elder, or whatever the Protocols of Zion, like, they did give them the facial features that they give these really, bad images in those books, like, for sure. Oh, my
God, yeah.
And also, like...
When you look at it, too, when you look at pictures of them, like, when they're not all of their makeup's on yet, it's even worse.
Or without their suits. Like, it's pretty... Yeah. It's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if one of them was like, they really should be green. I'm like, nah, I want flesh color.
Yeah, I think they could have definitely helped themselves out a little bit with that. Like, this guy doesn't look too bad.
No, it does. Come on.
I don't know. He just looks kind of derpy.
I don't know. It definitely looks like a stereotypical, like they crossed Dobby and a Jewish person.
That guy looks more like a fat British guy. You know what I mean? Like, just really bad skin. You just chop off the ears there, and he looks like his name is like Nigel or some.
I wouldn't be surprised if whoever it was, J.K. Rowling or this guy, Chris Columbus,
like the main guy when you think of goblins in Harry Potter movies. This guy.
They even
is that Warwick?
Yeah, that's.
I couldn't remember.
That's not Warwick's fault. I love Warwick. We're not going to drag Warwick into this.
No, this is Warwick.
Yeah, he plays a lot of
parts. But that's not the same guy.
It's not the same character, but it's Warwick.
Is it?
Yeah, for sure.
He just played multiple goblins?
Yeah, he was also one of the professors.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the one who was teaching the Leviosa spell.
Oh, I have not seen the Harry Potter movies in quite some time. That is?
Yes. It's called makeup. It's called practical
effects.
Doesn't
even look like him. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, again, I think it comes down to who has the most control when it comes to that movie. But yeah, it's definitely sus. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was like, they should have little hats that only cover the back of their skulls.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, all right, I see where you're going with this.
No, it's fine. They're not bad people. Like, we could pass by a party where they're all having a party together and they're like lifting one up in a chair.
Yeah, it'd be great. They have these little toys that they just spin
around.
It's fine. It's fine.
And what would they be eating? Potato pancakes.
It's like, all right.
Okay, fine. Corned beef and brisket. God damn it. J.K. Rowling, why do you hate Jews so much? It's definitely unfortunate for sure.
It was an interesting point when you brought up that, although to be fair, it could be Chris Columbus. I was like, you know what? He's right.
Right.
But
again, though, like going back to the Cloud Atlas thing, so many people had to sign off on that. Like Warner Brothers, Chris Columbus, all of the producers, executive producers, casting, makeup artists. Like when you're a makeup artist and you're doing this, you're like, I'm going to hell.
You know what? I bet it was Daniel Radcliffe the whole time. He was just like, I'm not continuing this movie unless this is how it's fucking done.
I don't know what it is about these little guys, but I hate them. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. Yeah, definitely unfortunate. And it is funny that Jon Stewart brought it up now. But, I mean, J.K. Rowling's crazy. We know this, right?
Yeah.
Like, it started off simple enough where she's like, hey, Dumbledore's always been gay. And we're like, okay, that's fine. I mean, there's nothing in the text to defy that. Like I don't care about who Dumbledore fucks until Jude Law was casted as Dumbledore. Then I'm like, God damn.
They're like, I want to see him fuck.
I want to see him fuck. I don't care who. But I think then she started doing the things where like, hey, for a long time, wizards didn't even have indoor plumbing. They just did their business wherever and then disappeared the evidence.
Did she really say that?
Yeah, she did. And people are like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? People, they just shit on the floor or pissed all over themselves and then magicked away the poo and shit.
That's like
poo
that Jack
pee.
Black movie with, what's his name?
Oh, yeah. The Ben Stiller one. Envy, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Where the poo gone. Where does the poo go?
Was it Envy or Greed? I
think it was called Envy, yeah.
You're right. That was a pretty funny movie.
Yeah, that's a deep pull. I don't think a lot of people know that movie existed. But it's like a lot of people are like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. First of all, in the books, it's not how magic works. It just doesn't disappear. It always goes somewhere else. Also, like, it's not like when you take a shit, there's no shit on you. You know what I mean? Are you disappearing all of it?
The spell covers both. It just takes all of it
It just
away.
takes all of it? Does that, and then the obvious next question is, can you do the same for all bodily fluids?
You mean like if you're peeing? Yeah, I guess so.
No, I'm talking about like, if you, in the heat of passion, you forgot to use, protection of some sort.
You just you leave your Patronus somewhere.
Just fucking come be gone.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you got one spell, why wouldn't you have the other?
I mean, that's what I would do. And then also, does it work if it's inside someone else?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there would be a wizarding law against that. I don't know.
Yeah, because then you could do it with like blood. And then just like, oh, your blood's gone. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, interesting. Well, that was an interesting take. Let us know what you think. Are the goblins in Harry Potter movies Jewish?
Or are you racist?
Or are you racist? Well, I guess not racist, anti-Semitic. It's like its whole category.
That's true. That's very specific one. I'm sorry, Cody. You're right.
Anti-Semitism is like its own whole genre. It's pretty crazy.
I need to start my own anti-Hispanic one. This is bullshit.
They've been discriminated against for so long
they have a very
that they have their own category. And if you are, if you are Jewish and listen to the show, let us know, like, how did that make you feel? Because obviously Jon Stewart had a rough time, and like,
Yeah, you know what? Show your Jewish grandparents and just tell us what they say. Just like see what their take on it.
I don't know how I feel about this.
He did come out. I've been trying to say he did come out and say today that he did not say that she was anti-Semitic. That he was just pointing out something funny he had noticed in the film.
Yeah.
But
he was also concerned that how he noticed it and no one else seemed to notice it. They're just like, oh, goblins. They're like, wait a minute. They look like me. He's like, shut up, goblin.
Yeah. He did say he was in the theater and he kind of laughed and kind of looked around like, does no one else kind of see?
No one else gets it? Yeah. It's fucking crazy. Well, we've delayed long enough. Let's do real quick nerdy confessions, Christian, where we confess the things that make us nerds. What's your nerdy confession?
I am bummed out that I binge watched Cobra Kai so fast that I don't have any more episodes to watch.
Oh man,
so good! It's so good. That show has it like as I'm watching it, it's just like this show. I should not be enjoying this as much as I should. Like it has so many pitfalls where it would fall and be bad. I was like, but it doesn't. It's just. I love it.
Yeah,
And
for like a spin-off show of, and don't get me wrong, like I loved the Karate Kid movies when I was younger and stuff. But for a spin-off of a show where it's now and they're using the same actors, it's like there was such a chance of this movie being a pile of dog shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like
or the show, I should say.
The show has everything going against it where it would so easily be bad. Like if someone pitched to me the idea, I probably would have said no.
No, thank you. Yeah, you're fucking crazy.
You know, with fucking big risk come big rewards. Like someone said yes, and it's fucking awesome. So
well, I think a lot of it boils down to the fact that the actor who plays Johnny, and Ralph Macchio who plays Daniel-san, I think like they're both way better actors than Hollywood has given them credit for.
For sure. And particularly Johnny Lawrence. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. He plays such like by all means you should dislike this guy, but he just plays like such a lovable like dumbass. Like Like he doesn't mean like even in the show, like it's one of those shows that you think would get canceled because of wokeness, but like he says some really insensitive shit.
So especially in that first season when he's getting to know everyone. It was so funny.
But the thing is like you could tell he's not coming from a place of like malice. It's just like he was raised in a different time. It was different.
Yeah, it's just a different time. But
he learns.
I think that's what's so great about it is that he does learn from his mistakes, and it's like, you know, it's the same thing like my dad when he like learns.
Go on.
Yeah, no, like my dad. First of all, his dad was in the military and was born in Texas. So I'm just giving you an idea of the lineage of the family, right? But, you know, so he wasn't maybe the most accepting guy, you know, when I was growing up and stuff, and the world wasn't changing. But, you know, my sister, my younger sister, grew up, and so did I. I grew up in marching band. She grew up in color guard. And so, you know, there's a lot of, you know, people of various walks of life.
Tell me your grandpa thought color guard was something that it wasn't. Tell me he thought you guys were assigned to protect the people coming into school.
Oh God, no, that definitely was not the case. Funny fact though, my other grandpa, who was a sweet old man, still said colored until the day he died. Never said anything bad about black people or African American people, but
so it was like just that young just a colored fellow that came.
Yeah, it was a term that he could not let go of, which is, you know,
the lovely colored gentleman that helped me at the counter. He was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, Grandpa, you can't say that. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, black guy. I'm like, okay. Jesus Christ. Old people just have a hard time learning new words. You know, my dad still says vegan instead of vegan.
Okay.
And I'm like, Dad,
that's a safe one.
It's vegan. When did you ever hear vegan?
He's not gonna
you've never heard that. You made that up.
No one's gonna throw a punch at him for that. That's fine.
Well, you know, maybe a vegan would, but who knows? But anyway, yeah, you know, so obviously my dad eventually had run-ins with, you know, gay people, and he was like, you know, those guys are really nice, you know. And then now he like sticks up for them and stuff if people start trash talking. I'm like, that's what you want.
He's like, they're my best clients.
I don't know if he's ever said that, but you know, he definitely sticks up for them around some of his more conservative friends. When you grow up hunting, Christian, you get to hear a lot of things that you wish you didn't hear.
No. It'd be things that I'd like to hear. I'd just be like, just laugh my ass off.
I'll be like, I put the headphones. Oh, the best one. Here's the best one, and it has nothing to do with conservativeness. It's just with old people. So every year with my dad and his two hunting buddies, we sometimes my uncle comes, sometimes it's my dad and two of his friends. We go on a hunting trip together where we drive to Oregon, and I sit in the back seat of this truck, and then with my dad, and then the two other guys are in the front seats. And it's a 9-hour or 10-hour drive, right? So there's a lot of sitting around talking. You know what I mean? And one time they were like, somehow they started talking about like one of my dad's buddies who works in the next shop over, who's like addicted to pornography. He's like, I don't understand how he affords it, you know, because you got to pay on all those sites to watch any of that stuff. I mean, you know, what is he paying every video? I don't even know how that works. And I'm just sitting there in the back.
Take your headphones off. It's free. There's a lot of free stuff.
I'm not trying to ruin their fucking lives, Christian. Like, can you imagine? I'm just sitting there with the headphones on. I'm like, oh God, do I tell them? Yeah, and for those any of our listeners out there, in case you didn't know, pornography's free on the
They would have
internet.
became like just super like
Yeah.
9 hours in front of the computer, lost their jobs. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
think about it for them.
Dad, are you going to work today? Can't. Baiting.
Yeah. Think about it for them. They would get one magazine a month if they got lucky of Playboy.
Yeah, exactly.
And they made that last, for the
I
whole
know.
time.
Yeah, like me, if I see the same thing twice, I can't even come to it anymore.
Yeah, you're just like that's because you're spoiled.
I know. Can you imagine if those three older guys, because they're all in their 60s and one guy's even in his 70s now. Can you imagine if they saw the front page of Pornhub?
Oh yeah,
Jesus Christ. It would kill them.
like a kid in a candy shop.
I think it would kill them. Like they would all have simultaneous heart attacks.
It's like, you mean I could type anything I want to see here and I'll find it? Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. And some stuff you don't want to see.
You don't even have to try that hard to find it. It
No,
just pops up.
like I said, man, front page. You're like, Jesus Christ.
How does it know what I want to see next? Like, there's these things called algorithms.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
takes what you've been typing in and it knows what you want to see next.
And Dad, when you've been in the game as long as I have, they get oddly specific.
You could have, if it was like a movie, it'd be a cool montage of them just like clicking away on the fucking,
like
See, like-
heist music in the
Yeah.
background. Oh God. Anyway, back to Nerdy Confessions. This episode has gone off the rails. My Nerdy Confession, I'll just do this one so we can talk about it a little bit. Second episode of Boba Fett came out, Book of Boba. And we won't spoil anything, but I think it's starting to pick up steam. I think I enjoyed the first one. You didn't enjoy it so much. But the second episode, I think we both agree, like the series is starting to look like, oh, actually, I kind of want to see what's happening.
yes, for sure.
And I think, a lot of the cool things, do we call them sand people? Is that?
The Well, I mean, that's fair because everyone else calls them Tusken Raiders, right? But I think them.
No, a lot of them call them sand people in the movie.
What do they got? I'm trying to.
But I
of
think that
episode-
was like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's an old white guy, so I can't trust it now.
I'm trying
But
to-
yeah, the Tusken Raiders.
I'm trying to think in the last episode what they referred to themselves as, but I don't think they did.
I think, well, in this episode, I think Boba calls them Tuskens
Okay.
when he's talking to the people on the train. The fish guys. Those fish guys should not be in Tatooine. Like,
That's why they had the helmets.
yeah, I guess.
And a lot of water.
You think Boba Fett's helmet is air conditioned? I mean,
Has to be.
I would absolutely have to have air
It
conditioning.
would no, it
Yeah.
has to be for sure.
Yeah, it just like pumps opium into his nostrils. That's what I would want. Yeah, I think it's starting to pick up steam. I'm interested to see where it comes next. We see a couple like, not necessarily cameos, but like a couple new characters introduced in this newest episode, and it opens up some interesting possibilities. Also, did you know the robot that he has at his palace, at Jabba's old palace, that like introduces the people coming in to see him?
Yes.
He's the guy. He's the boss from the British office, and he's also in like What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show,
Whoa, wait.
and
the
the
boss?
IT and the IT crowd. He's the boss in the IT crowd too.
I have to read.
Not the boss. I'm sorry, not the boss from The Office, because that's Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
I think he's like, was he the Dwight? He was someone in it. I'll show you.
If he's Dwight, he's one of the pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't know.
I'm usually pretty good with voices, and I'm kind of bummed out that I didn't guess. Who it was.
It's the TV series. It's this guy. Boop, 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 boop. He's like the one of the main dudes in it. Matt Berry.
He was in The Office.
I thought so. I mean, he's British and he had to have been in The Office,
No, but
right?
he was in the show What We Do in the Shadows, which is an excellent show.
I think I might have been thinking of the IT crowd, and the Toast of London. But he's the voice of that robot who introduces everyone.
I've just seen a bunch of videos of this guy where he's like being really nice to women and he's like walking them places and they're like, "Oh, thanks for walking me to my boyfriend's." I was like, "Fuck off!" and he throws their
Yeah,
shit.
100%. That's him. Yeah, he's the robot. Fun stuff. Also, I think Robert Rodriguez was in. He's like one of the people in the costumes or something.
Nice.
Yeah, so fun little cameos in Book of Boba. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next.
It's picking up. I love it. I did. I mean, are we gonna get into it or no?
No, let's not do spoilers yet.
Okay.
I think just because we were kind of iffy on it last episode, and let's say like it's picking up steam. I'm very interested to see where it goes next, and I had very low expectations when we first started.
And I had higher expectations, and I didn't like I didn't. I don't want to say I didn't like it. I was disappointed about the first one. The second one, I was like, oh shit! Now I'm interested in it.
Right
So.
now, it's like, oh fuck! Now I can't wait till next Wednesday or whatever. Very cool. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick little break for a word from our sponsors, and when we get back, we're going to be talking about. Oh, I don't think we even introduced the topic, but when we get back, we have something for you. We'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so there's a change.org petition.
Online petition. I don't know if it's exactly change.org.
Probably change.org. Going around, and it's got like 50,000 signatures, and it's to have T'Challa from Black Panther recast as a new actor. And we thought it would be an interesting kind of topic to discuss, like, should this happen, and maybe not just T'Challa, but like other characters, right? Because unfortunately Chadwick Boseman late last year or middle of last year, I guess it was, passed away, and Black Panther movie was one of the better Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, and he's a pivotal character in the future of the MCU, but suddenly he was taken from everybody, right? He was taken from the world. So should he be recast? Should there be someone else playing T'Challa? Would that be right? And, what are kind of the possibilities? So what's your like gut opinion on it, Christian?
Gut opinion. So I thought it was like, I know a little bit more and I'll get into it on the back. So my gut opinion, I understood what Kevin Feige was doing. I'm like, all right, that's awesome that they want to honor his performance and not recast and have it be,
right.
Chadwick Boseman. So my gut reaction was like, cool move.
Yeah.
That was my gut reaction.
Then his sister turned into a fucking psycho.
So like one of the bigger people that's advocating for the recasting is actually his brother.
Oh, interesting.
And his brother was saying that, this is what
I'll do it. I'll take the $1 million, please.
Yeah, right.
I'm just kidding.
No, he was saying that like this is what Chad would want. He would want to be recasted. And he was saying that the role of Black Panther meant so much for a lot of young black kids.
Oh, 100%.
And he's like, so it's not fair to them, nor would it be fair for the next actor who deserves the role to not take it. So it should be recast so that it can continue on for the fans. I was like, that's an interesting point I didn't think about. Like, it would be. So that kind of changed my opinion.
Right.
And particularly if it's his brother saying it, so...
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things that, before they make any decision, those would be some of the people I'd want to talk to, like family members, people who are close to him. I think the last thing you want to do is like, hey, by the way, we still kind of got to make this movie, so we're going to have someone else playing your brother. So that's like one of those things where it's like, you got to kind of make sure that that's okay with all the parties involved. Because, at the end of the day, like, Marvel fans will eat up whatever they put out there, whether it's someone different or whatever. But, you got to be able to live with yourself if you handle it poorly. But I mean, he's got a point. It's that movie was, a lot of my black friends, really saw that movie and they're like, damn, it's like the first time that like a mainstream superhero got like their own movie. And it's not just the Falcon in Captain America. Yeah. It's not just what's his face? War Machine in Iron Man. You know what I mean? It's like, this is his movie about him and about the black identity, which I think, like, unfortunately, we have not seen a lot of that.
No, outside of Blade.
Blade, right? Meteor Man. Remember Meteor Man? I actually have issue 1 of Meteor Man.
Do you?
Yep.
I wonder what that's worth.
Probably nothing.
Probably.
Yeah, the show was terrible, or movie was terrible. Was that like Martin Lawrence? No, it wasn't him. That was something different. But anyway, yeah, I think
you're thinking about Blank Man. And
Blank Man.
It also wasn't Martin Lawrence.
It was one of those like '90s black comedians. So was it a Wayne?
It was both the Wayne brothers.
Yes.
No. I'm sorry. It was damn.
It had to be a Wayne.
The bald one. There's 2 bald ones. The younger bald.
They're probably all bald now. There's like 19 of them or something like that. I'm not going to look up Blank Man. We don't need to know that. I think that's definitely a valid argument, and I think another thing too. This is less convincing because it has to do with storytelling, but they were kind of setting T'Challa and the Black Panther to be the new Iron Man. Like
a little bit.
There's a void missing in the MCU of this like leadership character. And you could kind of see them setting him up, and now Doctor Strange has kind of taken that over. I think more out of necessity than anything else. But by taking out Chadwick Boseman or having him out of the picture, they've had to shift so much around. And how does this Black Panther 2 movie work without someone being a Black Panther in it? And having him die off screen or whatever. I don't know if that even does the character justice.
I don't know how they're going to handle it because they said they're not going to just recast him and be another actor. So they have to mention why he's not there.
Right.
So I'm curious how they're going to handle it.
I don't know. And another thing too is that
they also said that they weren't going to CG him or anything like that. Like they're not going to have anything where like
he's not going to walk off into the distance or something.
Like they're not going to use his image.
Yeah. And then also Letitia Wright, she has now been kicked off the film completely.
So she got hurt while filming, and then after
she played Shuri in the first movie, his sister.
She is an anti-vaxxer and doesn't want to get vaccinated.
Dumb bitch.
So they're just like, we're not going to bring you back. Which you would think, even as an anti-vaxxer, hey, we're going to give you millions of dollars if you just get the vaccine. Then, I mean, just do it, I would say. But and she's, I don't know if she's walking away from it or she's being kicked out from it. But it's interesting. So now this movie's just getting delayed even longer.
Yeah.
So who knows when it's actually going to be released.
Yeah, originally, I think it was supposed to come out like in November of this year. There's no way that's happening now. Especially with her not only being injured, but being a fucking anti-vax dumbass.
And there's been a lot of people saying that there's been rewrites like almost daily. So
right.
Who knows?
And, we've kind of outlined the idea of like, because Namor is now like confirmed, I think, in it.
Yeah, they confirmed the actor.
And like that character really only works if T'Challa's there. Like he plays off of, just like, we constantly mention how Venom doesn't make sense without Spider-Man. I think if you're going to have Namor in a Black Panther movie, it doesn't make sense without having T'Challa there, because
it's two royalty,
two kings, and you see one who will go to any lengths to protect his kingdom and keep outsiders out, Namor, and then you have T'Challa, who has now let some of the world into Wakanda, right? They're like, oh, we even have a Starbucks now or something. Weren't they talking about
getting
one?
So.
And so, you have these two different views of what a king should do and what their responsibility is to their country. It makes a compelling story that, frankly, I'd like to see. But again,
also, I mean, in the comics, Submariner starts off as a villain and is a villain for a long time until later on he switches over. Yeah. So it'd be cool to have him be a villain here, maybe even 2-3 movies. Villain.
Well, to be fair, he actually started off as a hero in like the 1930s.
Oh, but this is before Marvel.
That was before. That was whatever Marvel was called before. Yeah, when he comes into like the mainstream Marvel universe, well, I guess actually first he kind of talks to, he's in the not the Defenders, the Invaders, with Captain America, Bucky, the Human Torch and Toro.
Yeah,
dude, when are we gonna get a Human Torch and Toro movie?
Well, they're not gonna do it, but they showed him in
the Captain America one. Yeah, not Toro though. Toro's just out there. The forgotten sidekick.
That's gonna be somewhere.
There's a lot of sidekicks back in that day. But yeah, I think, I think they could do it. Now this begs the question too. So, are we ever going to recast other characters who the actors have kind of aged out of the MCU? Like, are we going to get a new Tony Stark as Iron Man?
There's rumors that Tony Stark might show up in the Multiverse of Madness. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think so. It would be tough take on like Robert Downey Jr. and have a...
I think him specifically would be... I mean, I don't know. They're all pretty iconic at this point, Like Ant-Man would be easy. You just do not Scott Lang, not Hank Pym. You do the other guy. What the irredeemable Ant-Man. I forget what his...
I thought that was Scott Lang.
No, I don't think so. That's a different guy. But yeah, people who the mantle has kind of been passed on, from one character to another. I could see that happening.
Although Paul Rudd's a fucking vampire, so he can play.
Yeah, Paul Rudd will be playing it forever. But
now, if we were talking about this off here, but if they had to recast Black Panther, I would like Bushmaster from Luke Cage,
Bushmaster.
Mustafa Shakir. I think he'd be an awesome
Eric O'Grady is the irredeemable Ant-Man. That was a fun series.
Is that the one that was like
he was peeping on showers and stuff? Yeah. There's the cover right there. Yeah. I like that suit too. That was a really cool take on the Ant-Man suit. Very cool.
Kind of looks Spider-Man-ish.
Who fighting the original? Robert Kirkman. I forgot. He was the one who did. That's why I read that. I'm like, why did I read that? Robert Kirkman. Yeah, I think what's his name? Mustafa Shakir, who played Jet Black in Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, he's gonna need another role. So
yeah, I fucking he was great in Cowboy Bebop. I understand a lot of people didn't like that show, and I liked it for what it was. It's not Cowboy Bebop the original. But, his part, I don't think anyone can argue that he was perfect as Jet Black in that movie, or show, I should say. Yeah, I think he'd be great. The other guy, what was the other guy I picked? He's the guy from Candyman.
I don't remember his name, but he's a great actor.
Yeah. He was also, he was Morpheus in the new Matrix Resurrections.
And the Matrix that shall not be named.
Yeah. His name is, I apologize, but it's difficult to say. His name is Yahya Abdul Mateen II. He's excellent. I think he would make a really good Black Panther. And yeah, dude, look at him.
No, he'd be great. He's a great actor.
I don't think, he didn't do a bad job as Morpheus. I thought he did an excellent job, like playing like a kind of a, impersonation of, what's his face? Lawrence Fishburne.
As a robot,
kind of. Yeah. I liked him a lot. I think he's great. I think those two would probably be my top ones. Bushmaster's so fucking sick.
No, he'd be great. He's a great actor.
Yeah. I just got to hear some of their their African, accents, because Chadwick Boseman, that's one thing I don't think people give him enough credit for, is that the guy, because even before he was Black Panther, the guy just gets absorbed in roles. He becomes that person.
Yeah,
when he plays Jackie Robinson and James Brown, dude, fucking awesome. Yeah, so I think those two guys, there's definitely guys out there. Marshall Ali, we had already kind of brought up, but he's Blade already, which I think we fucking nailed that casting. Again, that happened we said it on this show a day before it was announced at Comic-Con.
It just sucks that we didn't post that episode sooner, but it came out. But we know the truth.
We know the truth. Yeah. Fucking nailed it. I think, those guys would be good. I think, I don't know. But I mean, if they do that, that movie is going to get pushed back years.
Yeah.
because
which I'm fine with. That's fine. We've already.
I'd rather have it done right than piece together and put out like a piece of shit like the original Justice League. You know what I mean? Because that one went through a bunch of. Obviously, Zack Snyder's had his family thing with his daughter dying and everything, and then Joss Whedon took over, and in between having a toxic work environment, he kind of pieced it together and changed the story, did reshoots, and then it turned into a pile of shit.
Did they ever come up with details of what it was?
It was just a lot of.
I just remember Cyborg saying things happened, but it never went into detail like what they were.
Yeah, I remember I tried to find out more stuff about it, and it was all just like, oh, he just creates such a toxic work environment. I'm like, okay, well, is that just because he yelled at you? I mean, sorry. He's Joss Whedon. He can yell at me, but it might have been something crazy.
The only stuff I found was stuff from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where I forgot the character's name, but one of the Valley girls who was in the show,
all of them, they were all Valley
the
girls.
cheerleader. Anyway, when she got pregnant, he was giving her a lot of fucking shit and a hard time.
Yeah, man, he has a show to make. I think it's one of those things where, it's especially when you're a big studio and you're making this huge multi-million-dollar movie, right? We're talking like hundreds of millions of dollars for some of these Marvel movies. It's very easy to get caught up in it, and you're like, oh shit, this actor died. This actor is an anti-vax psycho. This person's injured. We need to do reshoots, and you just keep trying to push forward and piece together this movie. When I think we as the fans understand that obviously the last couple years have not been particularly easy for anyone. So we're okay with being like, look, take the time, figure everything out the way you want it, get it all your ducks in a row, and then make the movie and make it right. So I'm okay with whichever route they go. I'd be interested to see how they do it without T'Challa in it. How they explain it. I think it's difficult, but I have a lot of faith in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, who knows?
I don't know. Who knows? Let's see. But if they were going to pull from existing characters inside the movie, my pick, and I've said it a couple times, I've said it on Twitter, would be M'Baku.
M'Baku
would
so
be dope.
Sick. I would take just about anyone except Michael B. Jordan. A lot of people keep saying that.
So
They're
you
like,
take
dude,
Martin Freeman. Martin Freeman would be a good T'Challa.
Wouldn't be my first choice, but I would take him over Michael B. Jordan. He's just like, how hard can this be? I'll be Black Panther now, and everyone's like looking at him. He's like, okay, sorry,
all right,
I know,
won't do it.
Bad idea. All right. I mean, Sebastian Stan, honestly, would be a better choice than Martin Freeman, but still, I would be like, oh, I don't know about that.
We're just gonna give it the old, was it the Tom Cruise Samurai? What was it?
The Last Samurai.
The Last Samurai treatment. Just white dude comes in, takes over a full culture. I know it better than everyone in here. I'm taking this shit over.
I mean, that's a very vast reduction of that movie. He straight. I mean, it's the same thing that's happening in Boba Fett.
That's true. Well, Boba Fett's been around.
Dances
for a while.
with Wolves, A Man Called Horse, Avatar. Yeah, that's the story of the white guy going in and absorbing.
Boba Fett's not a white guy. He's a brown dude hanging out. Well, we don't know what's underneath.
He's pretty
those wraps.
pasty for a guy who stands out in the Tatooine sun all day long. No, I think it's Samoan. Or Polynesian or something.
No, I was gonna say we don't know what skin tone the
Tusken Raiders.
The Tusken Raiders.
That's true.
Are.
That's true.
Could be white people under there.
I heard. I think there's a comic book where they show what a Tusken Raider looks like under.
They do, and it's
just gross looking.
It looks like kind of like the Predator, but more gross.
Yeah, very gross.
Also, wow, we can't get into details.
What?
I guess about the episode. Fuck it, I'm gonna get into it. Did you notice the biker guys? Oh that was
a little minor spoiler warning for Boba Fett.
Do you notice the biker guys in Boba Fett? The guys with the hover
speeder bikes. Yeah,
speeder bikes.
Yep.
Did you ever watch Galaxy Quest?
Yes.
They looked a lot like the villains from Galaxy Quest. I'm like, what? I was like, are they in Star Wars now? Is this canon? Was Galaxy Quest part of that universe?
They do look similar, but not
you don't think
quite.
They were missing with the little antenna thingies on their face.
Yeah, and also the guys in Galaxy Quest are fucking gigantic.
Yeah, these are little ones. These
But
are
no,
runts.
they've been in other Star Wars movies in the background and stuff.
Okay, I was like, these guys are very familiar.
But
with
you're right,
Galaxy Quest.
They do kind of look like that. Did you see they mentioned spice in this one?
Yeah. Do you have spice?
But they did.
What is spice?
What is spice? Spice must flow. But they said it was from Kessel instead of which is in the Star Wars universe. There is a big spice trade coming out of Kessel.
Could be a different name for that planet. You don't know.
Yeah, Kessel is Arrakis. Who knows? Maybe it's just a processing place. I don't know.
It's refined differently, but it does the same thing.
Yeah, it gets the job done. This spice is cut with baking soda. I don't see anywhere near as far in the future.
Just looking at it, it's like it's not pure.
It's not pure. They have like a little worm that sniffs it out. And it's like, psst. It's like nah, this is cut. This is fake shit. Yeah, I think. Now, what do you think about like let's say 10 years? Do you think like would you be okay with them doing another version of Captain America or Iron Man?
I don't think we necessarily have to go 10 years, and some people are arguing that they're already doing it with Agent Carter from the multiverse. But I don't know if they'll actually bring her in to kind of take over the mantle. But it is possible now that different universes are crossing.
The multiverse does really, it does offer a lot of possibilities. Like for me, a lot of people are saying like, what's going to happen in the MCU because Chris Evans is basically done. He might come back and do a little cameo here or there, maybe, but it's like through time travel or whatever. Robert Downey, same thing. He's done. Thor's got like one, maybe two more movies in him, right? Before he's done.
He's still like buff and like young enough where I feel he can do it for much longer.
He could. But is he willing to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch eventually is going to want to do serious movies again. He's a freaking award-winning actor.
Hawkeye's basically out.
Jeremy Renner's out. Like the whole show was about him being old. And kind of like old, Scarlett Johansson's gone. She burned that bridge. So like what?
Although after talks, they said they'd be willing to work on future projects, but in actual reality, who fucking knows?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, here's a future project. We've blacklisted you from Hollywood. Good luck making movies again.
Did you say Black Widow? No, I said blacklisted.
I said blacklisted, you dumb bitch. Teach you to try to sue us. I love Scarlett Johansson. I just want her to do so many movies. But I think I could see a future where, because they're running out of a lot of these like mainline superheroes, right? What if the MCU has like a universe ending event and then we go into an alternate reality, alternate dimension, Earth 616 or whatever. And it's a whole new world with all new recast ones, and they start the MCU over again, but with slight differences.
I'm sure. There's tons of possibilities.
But,
but I don't know. I'm down for. I trust their judgment.
Yeah.
I've been actually rewatching a lot of the Marvel movies, and I'm like, God, like, dude, almost all of them are awesome. So who knows? And actually, I was watching Winter Soldier, awesome fucking movie. And
so good.
I ran into something interesting when he's sitting next to Peggy Carter. And when he's in the museum and he hears her giving the speech of how Steve Rogers had saved, even though he died, he saved 1,000 men, including her soon-to-be husband. And then he's like sitting next to her on her, her deathbed, and he sees the pictures of the other kids. I'm like, yo, in Endgame, when he went back in time, he ruined someone's marriage. Not only that, there was children that were not born because of him.
Well, a lot of people are saying, because I don't know if they don't actually show the guy.
They do not show the guy. They just show
so
her and children.
A lot of people are saying that he is the guy, that he goes back and he's the guy in the pictures who had all the children with her.
Well, I can understand that argument, but I'm like, I don't know.
It's one of those like Wonder Woman 84 things where it's like, dude, you just like raped that dude. Like, you just hijacked his body, had sex with him, and he didn't know what was going on.
That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's Captain America. If it was me, I would understand. Like,
step aside, son. And you're like, oh, I get it.
Yes, sir. I'll be in the closet. Please take my wife. Yeah. I mean, I get it. You can't compete with that. You know, it's one of those things where you're just like, well, I mean, he saved the world multiple times.
People are like, you didn't even defend your wife. It's fucking Captain America.
It's Captain America. What am I going to do? You know?
He fought Thanos.
He fought Thanos with a fucking metal shield. He could throw me through a wall. I'm not going to fight him. I feel like I owe him. Is that weird? I'm just jealous it wasn't me that he chose. Is that weird? In case you guys haven't figured it out, Captain America is my favorite superhero. I love him so much.
It's like, I love my wife, but I also resent her because he picked her.
He picked her. Me. Why not me? Why not me, Cap? I could be your Bucky. Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting place where, you know, we're young enough, luckily, still, even though I turned 35 today. We're lucky enough that we are going to see a lot of superhero movies for the rest of our life because the money train has not slowed down one bit. It's only gotten bigger and faster. So at some point, we're going to probably have to see a new Iron Man, a new Captain America, a new Thor.
Shit, we already saw Frog Thor. You know, maybe he'll get his own movie.
Frog of Thunder. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean,
if it was an animated cartoon, maybe.
Yeah, totally. I could totally see a Disney Plus show for sure. But I mean, we've already seen 3 new Spider-Men, right? And some of them have been great. Some of them have been not so great, you know? I think
Sony had come out and said that they're playing with the idea of having Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, like, still either even just showing up, even if it's just like end credits, or just giving them parts again, which would be dope. I'd be down for that.
I'd be down for like small cameos. I definitely don't want like new Andrew Garfield movie or a new Tobey Maguire movie with just them as Spider-Man. I don't know. I think especially for Andrew Garfield, No Way Home was such a good closure for his character. I wouldn't want them to fuck with that.
He hasn't fought any aliens yet, though, man. He's got to at least fight one alien.
That's true. I don't know. It's interesting. You know, we have had a bunch of superheroes recast. Like we said, with Spider-Man, Blade. Now we haven't seen Marshall Ali as Blade, but I'm sure he's going to be fucking awesome because he's an awesome actor. Spider-Man, Superman. There's been multiple Supermans, multiple Batmans. Soon to be more than one Green Lantern. You know, there's been, you know, people
2 Fantastic
recast.
Fours.
2 Fantastic Fours, soon to be 3, coming up soon, I believe. It's multiple Punishers.
That's true.
Yeah, 2 of them pretty damn good. Dolph Lundgren, I mean, I like it because it's the 80s and it's stupid, but you know, but Thomas Jane was great, and so was John Bernthal for sure.
I thought you were going to say John Travolta as
John. He honestly, that wasn't a bad guy. You know, he played a good boss. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you want them to recast specifically T'Challa for Black Panther? Do you think a new actor should do it to make the story go on, or should the Black Panther mantle be passed on to another character? Let us know down in the comments what you think. You find us on all the social medias at Nerds with Friends, and you can like and subscribe down at the bottom of the YouTubes, or follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff. If you want to become a supporter of the show, check out patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. That's where you can donate us $1, $2, $50 a month. We do appreciate that. To all the people who do support us. Helps us keep the lights on in this place, buy new cables, memory cards, cameras, etc. Thank you to the patrons who already do that. We're lifting your names into the, what do they call it? The land of ancestors or whatever. in the
I
Black
don't know,
Panther?
we got it so wrong. I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah. These are your ancestors.
Ancestral plane? I don't know.
Oh, that's probably it. That sounds right. I like that. Ooh. Now, I know they said they weren't going to CG anything, but what if in the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange goes to the ancestral plane and sees T'Challa?
No, they're not gonna do it because they already said they're not gonna CG. They're not gonna show his image.
If they did, though, I'd cry.
Oh, for a lot of people would cry.
You just see his back or something and be like, fuck.
I'm sure in the new Black Panther movie, they're going to do something that's going to make us cry. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to. Like, even when, I forget which movie it was that came out right after he died, but they changed the entire, how the Marvel logo comes and it's like all the superheroes. It was all him.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember which movie it was. Yeah. But
it was the one, whatever was immediately following his death. So maybe it was
Captain Marvel? I don't know.
Maybe Captain Marvel? Yeah, it might have been.
Maybe.
Could have been. I wish that movie was better. What are you going to do? Let us know, guys. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Christian, as always, for, holding it down and bringing up racially sensitive topics on the show.
It's relevant.
As a white person, I appreciate the opportunity to set the record straight.
There we go.
Just kidding, guys. Thank you guys for listening. To all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. This is Nerds with Friends. Wakanda forever.